Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Monday, May 9th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Mr. Josh Crash Davis to talk over tonight's MLB slate. It's a 9-gamer on Draftkings and a 7-gamer on FanDuel and Yahoo. They keep moving these games around. There's all-day slates, early slates, but we're focusing on the main slate. So how are you this morning, Crash?
I'm doing well, Coach. Doing well. Had a good Mother's Day yesterday. We had a big night last night in our NBA plays, especially you. You had a big night with your Yahoo takedown. So that was very nice. And looking forward to getting into these baseball games today. Pretty much all day baseball. And then the Bucks playoffs tonight.
Yep, and that's awesome, man. It was a fun Mother's Day, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And anytime you have a clean takedown on the feature tournament, it was the $20 entry on Yahoo for NBA and took it down all alone.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting too. So I'm very happy with that, thankful, and really want to thank our entire Coach Talk team because it's just, it's a team effort. We talked through the slates, and Deb and I broke down the NBA slate, and then you were chipping in, and Mike and Colin and Brett. Everybody's, putting up numbers, ownership, information, all of that culminates together for what we do here at Coach Talk. So it was a team victory, and absolutely love it. I hope a lot of our members and some of our listeners out there were able to jump on there. We saw a lot of things posted. Winners, please feel free to post stuff all day. We'll share it on our Twitter, and we'd love to share the victory. So some days are tough, some days are awesome, and that's how DFS works. So certainly fun to celebrate the awesome ones. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And if you want to be a part of what we're doing here, we have 7-day-a-week podcasts in the NBA and MLB, and then we have our weekly PGA podcast as well. Just go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up for as little as a 3-day pass for $10. If you're looking to play some wagers on some different sports and you want to go that route, go to betus.com.pa. Sign up there for the first deposit of just $79, and you use that $79 to play on whatever you want from any sport or whatever you want to do with it. And then you get a free 1-month membership at Coach Talk just by using the promo code Coach Talk. So tweet us once you sign up at BetUS. You can tweet us at DFS Coach Talk, or if you want to tweet me or Crash directly, I'm at what am I at there?
Joe Sarvati.
At Joe Sarvati. I'm used to saying yours first. I was going to call myself JP Davis 1982, but that would confuse people. So, any of the three, just let us know that you sign up for BetUS. We'll get you that free month and go from there. All right, let's dive in. We've got this main slate. If you're new to the podcast, if you saw our takedown, you thought, who are these bozos? Well, you know what? We're not bozos all the time, just some of the time.
Right.
But what we do is we sort of culminate together pitchers, prize picks, BVP, stacks, and HR calls, and just give you a feel to get you that build started, that core. And then if you're going to jump in our Discord with us, we'll talk about the rest of our plays. We give out lineups for Yahoo and FanDuel and cores and clipboards for DraftKings, and then and prize picks plays as well. So let's start off, Crash, with pitchers, the all-important must-have category in MLB DFS.
Right. So I'm going to be looking at Carlos Rodon. He's 11,000 on FanDuel, 10,000 on DraftKings. He had a pretty rough game his last start against the Dodgers, but it's the Dodgers. I mean, he had 6 innings, struck out 3, and only allowed 2 runs. So it wasn't terrible. But he's facing the Rockies at home tonight. I think he'll bounce back in a big way. The Rockies, as they usually do, have the second most runs per game at home, but the 4th fewest on the road. So
Right.
much better at home than on the road. So I think it's a favorable matchup for Rodon tonight. And I do expect him to be very chalky, but I think he's worth the price.
My buy a pitcher's Rodon. It's a no-brainer plug in. It's a Giannis, it's a Luca, it's whatever. I mean, you can't chase all those raw points. Great matchup at home. Eat the chalk here, spend the money. Start off SP1 Rodon all the way. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. And then my other pay-up option would be Mackenzie Gore,
Ha!
10K on FanDuel, 9,700 on DraftKings, and he has a favorable matchup against the Cubs. So right now I'm kind of leaning towards Rodon in my cash games, and then Gore is a tournament play.
We don't talk about this because we want to get reactions on here. And, we always have different stuff generally.
Yeah.
I'm Mackenzie Gore as well. I mean, another great matchup. It's against the Cubs. He is a left-hander. He was the #1 rated pitching prospect in baseball in 2019, #1 overall, and had surgery seems like every pitcher does when they're young. And
Right.
then it's all coming together. And sometimes these guys are better after surgery. And he looks like a stud. I love this matchup. I love him as a play. I may even throw him in as my single play on a secondary lineup because I'm feeling a little frosty off my win yesterday.
Yeah.
I like him that much. He's up there with my man from the other day. You remember, right?
Yeah, Joe Ryan.
No,
the same team though. Josh Winder.
There you go, Josh Winder. I was gonna just say, I thought if you're gonna forget the guy with your same name, Josh, but I put him in that category. But he's gonna be a lot highly more, proclaimed and owned. But
Right.
I like those. I like some of those young pitchers this year. There's a handful of them that are really, really good, and I think Winder and Gore are both in that category. So
Yeah.
I'm with you. We won't have the same fade pitcher though, because I took a cheaper guy.
Yeah, well, I got to go with my value play first. So my value play is going to be Paul Blackburn. He's 8,600 on FanDuel, 7,500 on DraftKings. I mean, I guess you could look at Gore as a value from Rodon, but to me, value is, below 9K basically. But he's going up against Detroit. That's a matchup we've been picking on lately. They strike out at the 7th highest rate. They've scored no more than 3 runs in their last 6 games. They got shut out yesterday by Jake Odorizzi. And
Good
Blackburn
call on, by the way. That was one of your
Thank you.
podcast calls. Very
Thank you.
nice.
Yeah, thank you. So Blackburn hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in any of his 5 starts, and he's actually been better on the road. He had 5 innings pitched in all 3 road games with shutouts at San Francisco and Tampa, and he held Toronto to 2 runs in Toronto. So he's been very good on the road, especially. So I like him here against the Tigers. Probably his best matchup of the year, on paper.
Yeah, I love that call. And those stats don't lie. Those are some great, great stats.
Definitely.
I certainly will consider them. And I'm just so high on Rodon and Gore that I didn't even go with a value, but I like your call there for sure. I'll tell you he was my fade last time. I mean, I watched him in the KBO, and he's so overmatched in the MLB. And I know he's not going to be owned much, but if somebody's thinking about playing flex and is their SP2, don't do it. I think he's just going to get bombed here. He's my fade pitcher. I know that's not that gutsy, but it is what it is. I wanted to mention in case anybody thought they'd get, a little cute. I think Philly's going to smash them. So, for what it's worth.
Yeah, no, I agree. My fade pitcher is going to be Michael Kopech. He's 9,200 on FanDuel, 9,500 on DraftKings. He's been pretty good as far as, not allowing a lot of runs, but he has been walking 4.3 batters per 9. Yep. And he hasn't pitched more than 5 innings in any of his starts. And he only pitched 4 innings in his last start at Wrigley. So with a price tag over 9K, I would just prefer that we pay up for Rodon or Gore for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think the kid's got nice potential, but yeah, you can't pay that kind of money for a 4-inning guy, or maybe 5 at the most. I agree with you completely there, although I do think he has some talent.
Yeah, he does. But he has to get control of his command, because like I said, he's been walking 4.3 batters per 9 innings. So,
and that's a recipe for disaster. Those
yeah,
eventually bite you right in the butt.
Yeah, those better lineups will get a chunk out of them. So,
no doubt. All right, let's jump to Prize Picks. What do you have cooking on Prize Picks today?
My first Prize Picks play is going to be what I mentioned earlier with Paul Blackburn against the Tigers. I like his over at 24.5 fantasy score.
Okay.
I think you can get that, and I think that Oakland will get the win. So I like him to go over 24.5.
I like it. I'm just going to stay on this poor dude. I feel bad, but Chris Flexen under pitcher fantasy score 23.5. I think Philly gets to him early and often, and take an under for a change. Usually take overs.
Yeah, that seems a little high to me for that.
I thought so. I thought it'd be
Phillies.
I thought it'd be like 20, 19.5. 23.5 is a lot though.
Yeah, that is. My second Prize Picks play is going to be the under on Kyle Hendricks strikeouts at 3.5. He hasn't gone over 2 in his last 3 starts, and he allowed 10 combined runs against the White Sox and the Brewers. So San Diego struck out the 8th fewest times, and I think that they're going to get to him a little bit and get him out of the game fairly early. And he's just not a big strikeout guy in general anyway. So I like the under at 3.5 strikeouts.
I like it. I've changed my mind a few times here, but I'm going to go with David Peralta over fantasy score 6. It's a great matchup for him. He's hit him really well. He's 3 for 7 with a homer and a walk, batting cool 429 in a super small sample size. But you don't have to get a whole lot to get 6 fantasy scores. So I'm going to go with David Peralta over 6.
Okay. For the BVP play, I'm going to go with Lewis Robert. He's 3,600 on FanDuel, 4,700 on DraftKings. He's hit 539 against Zach Plesac with 7 hits and 13 at bats. He doesn't have a home run, but he has 4 singles and 3 doubles. So I do like that matchup for him.
Very nice. And I'm sticking with Peralta. I mean, BVP 429 with a homer, a walk against Hernandez. I'm not a big Hernandez guy from Arizona. So, he's going to be plugging in both Prize Picks and definitely in my DFS lineups as well.
I like it.
The most important thing from what everybody keeps saying is stacks.
Yeah.
What do you got?
The LA Angels against Jeff Springs, the left-handed pitcher from Tampa. It's going to be kind of a bullpen game for Tampa. So Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Max Stacy, the righties would be my favorites here. Of course, you can play Ohtani, but I would lean more towards the right-handed side for the Angels.
Very nice. And a repetitive theme for me. I like Philly stack against Chris Flexen. You've got, Schwarber probably batting leadoff, and then Baum, Harper, Castellanos, Realmuto, Hoskins. Even Segura hits him, and Herrera's got a big hit against him. So I really like this Philly stack against Seattle. That's my number 1. And I'll give you a second bonus one. I like the Padres against Kyle Hendricks. I think Hendricks is like really looking like it's toward the end of his career. 1-3 with a 5.64, and he just looks like he doesn't have that zip or snap on any of his pitches. And when you could throw up Grisham, Cronenworth ahead of Machado, who's on a MVP type start. And then Profar, Hosmer, Kim, Beatty, Nola, Thompson. I mean, they're up and down. They have a really nice order. I mean, Beatty, I think, could go deep against them and batting way down like it's 7. So it doesn't even have to be a 1 through 4 type of thing. If you want to go 3 through 7, I think you can get, pretty liberal with how you want to stack this San Diego team.
You're over here reading my notes, I think.
Uh-oh.
You've hacked into the system. Because I've got Manny Machado, Hosmer, Ha-Sung Kim, and Matt Beatty.
That's 3 through 7.
And Beatty and Kim wouldn't be the first guys that most people think of for a Padres stack. So the fact we had both of them, that kind of tells you what we think about that matchup. So
that's wonderful. Well, we got to get all over that one for sure.
Yeah. And Kim's been batting second in the lineup lately. So
yeah. I like him. He's good.
I do too. Yeah, he's really good against righties too. He was in the KBO, and I like his swing.
Very nice. What's your HR call, sir?
It's going to be the same game. Manny Machado, 4 hits and 9 at bats against Hendricks with a 4.44 average. He hasn't hit a home run yet, but I think that'll change anytime soon. So why not tonight?
That's like 3 out of the last 4 times you took Machado. I'm going to have to put a limit on Machado selections. But no, man, that's a great pick. I'm going with JT Realmuto against Mr. Flexen, who I'm just beating to death here on this slate. But I just a perfect spot for him. Hopefully he gets that extra at bat or so and can take him deep. So that is it, my friend. What else? Anything else on this slate you want to discuss?
No, I think the only thing I want to mention is that on FanDuel, we have a 7-game slate that starts at 7:10 Eastern. On DraftKings, it's a 9-game slate that starts at 6:35 Eastern. So we'll have an early post time for DraftKings.
Very nice. And if you're playing that early slate, everything's a go today. The weather is like the best it's been in any single day so far in the season. So, if you're listening to this early and you want to play the early games, 12:05 KC Baltimore with Hernandez and Wells, and 1:05 is Texas and the Yankees, Gray and Cortez. So got a couple of interesting early games as well. Do you have, not to put you on the spot, but anybody in those 2 early games, if somebody's going to listen and wants to play that early slate?
Let me see who's on it. I got to check real quick.
Because I'll tell you, when you're looking, the way I look at this one, I really think that this KC Baltimore game, even though neither team has been hitting the tar out of the ball, 9-16 for KC, Baltimore 11-17. But if you didn't know, Baltimore reconfigured their stadium. They moved the wall way back in certain areas, and where those balls used to just float into the second, third row, those are outs now. So something to be aware of when you're playing these guys in Baltimore. It's not like it used to be. However, I say all that to say I do like the hitting in this game. I think that, you've got a couple of guys in the order, in the middle of that KC order, like a Benintendi and O'Hearn from the left side against Tyler Wells. And then for Baltimore, the switch hitter Santander, and then Hayes. Mountcastle went deep a couple times the other day. And even Rougned Odor, who's from the left side, when he's going against a righty, it's not exactly a sharp thrower in Carlos Hernandez. I think you can get more runs. So I think people will stack Texas and Baltimore in that early slate, but I think you're going to get more runs from KC Baltimore. So that's my two cents.
Okay. So I know I mentioned this yesterday because it was my BVP play, but we had a different matchup than I expected, and that was Giancarlo Stanton against John Gray. He has 2 runs against him in 11 at-bats with 4 hits, and he ended up facing Dane Dunning yesterday. And then in the second game of that doubleheader, he did hit a home run. So I do like him against John Gray today. So that would be – I hadn't looked a lot at the early slate, so that would be my quick glance thought would be Giancarlo Stanton would be a core play for me.
Mike Stanton, home run. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, got it.
All right, man, let's keep the momentum going. We needed the big takedown victory, and now we just roll that into a big baseball day today. We've got 2 more playoff games. You and I will be doing the NBA podcast coming out here in a little bit.
Yeah.
And hopefully that momentum keeps going. So thank you to both our sponsors. That's Prizepicks. If you go to prizepicks.com, sign up with the promo code Coach Talk. You get dollar for dollar match on your first $100 deposit by using that Coach Talk promo code, and betus.com.pa for all your wagering needs, casino, horses, anything you can bet on sports wise. Go to betus.com.pa, use the promo code Coach Talk. With your first deposit of $79 minimum, you get a free month, which is a $75 value at Coach Talk. So once you sign up, get in there. We'll get you into our Discord, and we would love to have you. We're going to be going over all of the plays throughout the day. The nice part about both things today and tonight is no baseball weather, so we're good there. The basketball, we know who's in and out, so we should be fine there. And so we can really focus on breaking down the numbers, checking out our optimizers, building by hand with everything that we're seeing. And that's how we do it here at Coach Talk. And we want to prepare our lineups for the average players that play per day. My ROI yesterday, I'm very proud of on Yahoo. I spent $34 to win 6,345. So people that think, if you're paying 150 max lineups and doing all that, it's a major investment. And I get that. You can easily win that way, but it's a big investment. If you want to play hand build, see how we do things here at Coach Talk, we're going to get you really, very fair, low amount of having to put in to get the possibility of getting the big money to come out on the other side. So yesterday was a perfect example. That's what we're all about here at Coach Talk.
Yeah. And I spent 25 cents to win $20. So you can't even buy a stick of gum for 25 cents anymore. So
that's right. That's right. You know what? We'll take ROI is really an extremely important thing here. I mean, people will throw up, hey, I won 12 grand and everybody's ecstatic, but what they don't tell you is it cost them 15 grand to win the 12 grand. So is that a win? That's the question, So
not in my book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Crash, as usual. Great stuff. And we'll certainly be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB DFS and Prize Picks.